Good morning. I'm Teacher Rose, and welcome to the Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person. The aim of this presentation is to help learners like you to get well acquainted with key concepts of environmental philosophy and how man should ethically deal with his environment. This presentation has the following topics, namely environmental philosophy, environmental aesthetics, sustainable development, theories in radical ecological philosophy, and prudence and frugality. For our most essential learning competencies, these are number 1, notice things that are not in their proper place and organize them in an aesthetic way. Number 2, show that care for the environment contributes to health, well-being, and sustainable development. And number 3, demonstrate the virtues of prudence and frugality towards environment. Have you ever realized the changes in our environment? Do you observe the weather is in your place? It seems that summer is hotter now compared to the past. The typhoons are stronger and more frequent. Floods are everywhere. And our surroundings have become dirtier and more chaotic. How can we address these problems? So, in this presentation, you will discover different views on how human deals with the environment, proposes ways to address environmental issues, uphold its preservation and sustainability, and appreciate the beauty of nature. So have you ever wondered what happened to the things you throw away? Did you ever think of the effects of these things on our surroundings? If not, it's time for you to reflect. As the popular saying goes, what goes around comes around. It tells us that for every action there will be effects to it. Like the drainage, wastewater flooding, diseases, and different kinds of pollution are some of the consequences we are experiencing because many people show no concern for our environment. Aside from the loads of waste that we are creating, inefficient and negligent use of natural resources like electricity and water are also major problems we are facing right now. Human beings as a steward has to show care for the environment and not to destroy it. The Earth's future is our responsibility. So let's find out how to take care of it. For our first topic is about environmental philosophy. So environmental philosophy is the discipline that studies the moral relationship of human beings with the environment and its non-human content. Philosophers believe that the human person has the ability to change the environment to suit his purposes. So this means that as human person, we interact not only with our fellow human beings, but also with other living and non-living elements in our environment. Humankind is a part of the world, and we significantly affect our environment in the same way that changes in our environment affect us. So let's take a look on these 3 views of philosophical environment. So number 1 is Anthropocentrism. It focuses on the significant role of humankind in the world and considers nature as the means by which humans are able to meet their needs and survive. So this view believes that humans are the most important species on the planet, and they are free to transform nature and use its resources. Number 2 is biocentrism. So it believes that humans are not the only significant species on the planet, and that all other organisms have inherent value and should be protected. So this view advocates ethical treatment of animals. Number 3 is ecocentrism. It places great value on ecosystems and biological communities. So this view believes that humankind is a part of a greater biological system or community, and that we have a significant role as stewards or guardians of nature. So this view promotes the idea that order and balance in nature brings about stability and beauty. The influence of humanity of the environment can be best understood if we consider the individual person as a dynamic source of change within his particular environment. People may treat environment as a source of raw materials to be used in any way he pleases, and as something that envelops and surrounds him thus have a unique relationship with it. This means that people can help solve environmental issues and problems. We can apply our philosophical investigation aesthetically to appreciate our nature. But how can we aesthetically organize the places that are not in order? So let's understand the ancient and modern thinker concepts on how to appreciate nature. A philosophical view that believes in maintaining order in the environment will bring out the natural beauty of surroundings and contribute to the well-being of the people and other organisms living in it. According to Anaximander, on his creation destruction, the sketch of the genesis of the world or cosmology, the evolution of the world begins with the generation of opposites in a certain region. Nature is indeterminate, boundless in the sense that no boundaries between the warm or the moist and dry regions are originally present within. According to Pythagoras, he described the universe as living embodiment of nature's order, harmony, and beauty. He sees our relationship with the universe involving biophilia, or love of other living things, and cosmophilia, love of other living beings. For the modern thinkers, according to Immanuel Kant, the orderliness of nature and harmony of nature with our faculties guide us toward deeper religious perspective. According to Herbert Marcuse, humans have power over nature. And for George Herbert Mead, men have duties and responsibilities in nature. Next is sustainable development. According to the World Commission on Environment and Development, sustainable development defined as development that meets the needs of the present within compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. To put it simply, the idea of sustainable development is any environmental, economic, and social advances can be realized within the carrying capacity of Earth's natural resources. It is reconciling human activities and economic advances while protecting our environment. Sustainable development upholds on the following principles. And these are: first, environmental integrity. It means that any human activities or economic advances should not unduly disrupt the environment and human communities located in the area. The environment should not be drastically impacted by human activities. Next is economic efficiency. This is to ensure that there is minimum to zero waste in using our natural resources. And next is equity. So it refers to conserving our natural resources so that the future generation will still be able to use it. The influence of humanity on the environment can be best understood if we consider the individual as a dynamic source of change with his or her particular environment. There are theories that can explain how the humanity address environmental problems. These theories offers way to value care, conservation, and preservation of nature and humanity. So these theories in radical ecological philosophy are deep ecology, social ecology, and ecofeminism. Deep ecology, according to Arnes, proponent of deep ecology, assumes that all living things possess equal value and intrinsic worth regardless of their usefulness or utility to other beings. This is experiencing ourselves as part of the living earth and finding our role in protecting the planet. It highlights the shifting away of approaches to environment from anthropocentrism to ecocentrism. Next is social ecology. According to Murray Bookchin, proponent of social ecology, he believes that ecological problems can be traced to social problems. Societies that are structured around hierarchies as well as economic classes use their authority to dominate natural resources and exploit the environment for profit and self-interest. Next is ecofeminism. So it assumed that male-centered view of nature is the root cause of ecological problems. To address environmental problems, humanity has to remove the superior versus inferior in human relations. Ecofeminism also believes that a society that tolerates the oppression of women is directly linked with its tendency to tolerate the abuse of the environment and the degradation of nature. So it also featured the existing patriarchal and capitalist system in our society as social and economic exploitative to the detrimental of women and nature. So this theory benefits the social and political agenda of both female and nature. How can one lessen the waste he/she is making? How can one be more efficient and more responsible in using natural resources? These questions can be answered by observing prudence and frugality towards the environment. Prudence and frugality are two of the many virtues that can help us in addressing various environmental problems and solving the challenges these problems have created. So, prudence is the capacity to direct and discipline one's activities and behavior using reason. It is the behavior that is cautious and, as much as possible, keeps away from any risk. Prudence is considered as the first and most vital among the four cardinal virtues, which include justice, fortitude, and temperance. According to Adam Smith, the theory of moral sentiments, a truly righteous person embodies the value of prudence since it controls one over indulgences and as such is vital for a certain society. As St. Thomas Aquinas argued, prudence is not purely as an individual virtue, but concerns the social dimension too. It means that prudence favors not only the private good of a certain person, but also the common good. Now, the question is prudence applicable to the challenges that the various environmental problems have brought? Well, aside from being an individual virtue, prudence is also considered as an ecological virtue since it implies the acknowledgement of human finiteness, both moral and physical. Human finiteness is indivisible from the physical environment, which means that we vulnerable beings depend on a no less fragile and vulnerable natural world, the ultimate source of human well-being and economic prosperity. Prudence can help us become wiser, more responsible in terms of using our natural resources, and most importantly, become more appreciative of nature's essential value. On the other hand, frugality is the quality of being thrifty. It is the careful supervision of one's resources. Frugality, aside from prudence, is another fundamental value that can help us develop a sense of right and wrong and attain whatever we want in life. Moreover, it is a virtue that can guide us in making choices in life and receiving the most value out of those decisions. Commonly, when we talk about frugality, we are talking about the cautious management of material resources, especially money. A frugal person always invests time to think carefully just to save a lot of money, and therefore uses far less money compared to an affluent person. However, frugality can be used in a wider way to practically everything in our lives. It can be considered as one of the most important parts when it comes to carrying on our responsibilities to our community and the world. Now, the question is, how can frugality help in solving environmental problems? Well, one of the main benefits of being a frugal person is that it is environmentally friendly. When someone is being frugal in using natural resources like electricity and water, this person is putting lesser damage on our natural environment. Furthermore, a frugal person usually leaves out the idea of reduce, reuse, and recycle just to minimize expenses. Yet, the same idea also minimizes overall environmental impact. Frugality, just like prudence, plays a big role in protecting our environment. It finds a great deal of value in lessening one's use of natural resources and at the same time getting as much value as possible out of the resources that we are using. Let's show our care on our environment so that the next generation will have a nice place to live in. Again, I'm Teacher Rose saying share love to everybody, be a blessing to everyone. Thank you.